All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is C.S. Hughes, and excited about being able to. We're wrapping up this four-part webinar series on advanced recruiting strategies. My voice is a little bit raspy today, but I'm feeling great. Been talking a lot, so let's dive right in. Again, all four webinars will be archived and available for playback at cshughes.com/webinar. That's not only the webinars, but that's the PowerPoints, the keynotes, and the PDFs, all available at cshughes.com/webinar. Well, this is the grand finale. Today is the secret sauce for easily recruiting 5 to 10 plus people a month. Everything that we've talked about up to this point is preliminary requirements. Everything that I'm going to talk about tonight is based upon the fact that you're doing everything that we've already discussed, that you are doing your 2 exposures a day minimally, and as you do all of those things and all of the things that we've discussed up to this point, there will be no trouble for you to recruit at least 5 people a month. Some of you will get really, really good at this. You can recruit 10, 15, even 20 people in a month. What we call this technique that we're going to be training on today is stacking, or shopping for apps, or burning the house from the bottom up. So in Legal Shield, you can build your team wide, or you can build your team deep, or you can do a combination of the two. Now this is what it looks like to build your team wide. This is you on top there, and then every person that you recruit, you put on what we call your first level or your first line. Everybody you recruit, you would just stack horizontally like you see there. That's how you build your business wide. There are some teams in Legal Shield, I think just about, well, back in the day there was a team, I think they were called the Sharks. Shark. They used to get on stage and do this weird little motion with their arm and yell shark into the microphone. But they had a mantra that they lived and literally died by, and it was wide or die. They used to be really loud about this. They were one of the only organizations in the entire company that was all about going wide, and really aggressively tried to put that on the rest of the company. Wide or die, wide or die. In other words, if you don't go wide, you're going to die. And unfortunately, about 90% of that organization is no longer in the company. So wide or die is probably not accurate. I would say maybe go wide and die might be more accurate. The answer is always in the middle. There's danger in being on the far one side, perhaps maybe danger being on far on the other side. I think the answer in most instances, certainly there are exceptions, but it's in the middle somewhere, right? So just doing it all wide is not the answer. And then there's deep, where you can just go deep. You get started in the business, you recruit someone, and then you recruit another person and put them under that person, and you just keep going straight down. This would be like a string of pearls, right? You're holding one end of the pearls like a pearl necklace, and it's going down, straight down. This is not the answer either. If you just go deep, it doesn't sound as good as go wide and die. It doesn't rhyme, but, go deep and die. If you just build one leg, you're never going to make any money. You can't make any money on one leg, on one team. So the answer is a little bit of both, right? It's all the top earning leaders in Legal Shield are those that recommend going 3 to 4 wide and then going deep in those 3 to 4 legs. So this is what it would look like. If you're brand new, what you've got to establish first is this blue structure. Okay, so there's you're obviously in the business, and then you want to get at least 3 frontline people, maybe 4. The great Dave Savola, our #1 money earner, once said that the most people that he could ever work with at one time effectively was about 6 people. So just imagine this. If you're Dave Savola, it would look like this. You'd have 6 blue circles horizontally on your first level. That would be about the most that he could work with at one time. And that's somebody who's been in the business in network marketing at least since he was 18 years old. So, 40, 50 years in network marketing, the best he can handle at one time is 6. So 3 would probably be excellent for most people. Some of you may have an ability to work with 4 at a time, but we just recommend 3. But it's up to you. And then after you've gotten your 3 in place, then you start building underneath those 3. Now those green circles that you see there, maybe some of those were recruited by you. Maybe some of those were recruited by other people in your organization. There's no rhyme or reason to that. But what you want to do is you want to start building out those 3 legs, start building underneath those 3 individuals. Well, this raises the question, at what point do I create a 4th, start a 4th leg, or start a 5th leg, or start a 6th leg? And those are great questions. Mr. Self and I were having a discussion about this recently, and we'll be coming out with something on the backside of our international convention 2015, because there will be some compensation enhancements as well as some other things coming out. And so it's going to be important that all of us know how to build our organizations. Well, again, we recommend start out with 3 different organizations and then start building underneath them. If any of those organizations go into what we call D status, either they're dead, they drop, or they become a director. If you've got your 3 organizations, you start building underneath there. One of those organizations becomes a director. Start a new line. If one of those other lines just dies and there's just nothing happening there, you want to start another line, start another line. There's no rhyme or reason in how that works. Sometimes I'll build in a leg where nothing is happening. That leg might be considered, quote, D or dead, but I may still want to build in that leg. Others of you may want to start a new organization. The point here is stay tight. We say it this way, stay thin to win. Right? In the beginning, stay thin to win, and over time, you'll create additional width. All right? So this is what your back office looks like. We've got to take a look at some things in your back office. This is where we're going to be spending the bulk of our time. Now, this is what our associate portal and or back office looks like currently. It's being updated from the ground up right now. So if you're watching this playback beyond July 2015, the associate portal probably does look vastly different than what you're seeing here. But the concepts that you're learning in this webinar, they'll still work, though as you navigate through your associate portal, it'll look different. So this is what it looks like right now. And what you want to do is you want to click into My Account. Once into your account, this is what it looks like. You want to click on the Placing New Associates. Now, you may not have any new associates to place right now, so why are we having you click on Place New Associates? Because if you see right, can I use my, I guess I can't use my cursor. See that manual button right there? When you go into this area, yours is either going to say manual or it's going to say automatic. You don't want it to say automatic. If it says automatic, you want to change it to manual. Why is that? Because if it says automatic, then that means every person you recruit on your website that goes to your website and signs up, they're going to automatically go horizontally to you. They're automatically going to go on your first level or your first line. You don't want that to happen. You only want 3 people or 4 max on your first level initially, and you can add over time. But so you want to change it to manual. Manual allows you to be able to choose anyone on your team, or you can put your new recruits under anyone on your team. And you have 48 hours to do that. we may see some changes to this at the convention 2015, but I believe that we'll still have this opportunity, that 48 hours, and by the way, the changes are amazing, nothing restrictive, only things that would enhance what we're talking about here today, and you'll see what I mean as we get to convention. But yeah, you want it on manual so that you have 48 hours. You can figure out where you want to put these people over 48 hours. Now, some people might think, well, why do you need 48 hours to determine where you want to put your new recruits? Well, that is the secret sauce. That is the magic of today's discussion. So let's dive in. Oh, let's go back here. All right, so notice here that we have in the middle of your screen, we've recruited somebody. His name is Martin Beamer. We just recruited him about a half hour ago. So we have 47 hours and 37 minutes to figure out where we want to put Martin. Well, here's what most people do. They go, well, I just recruited Martin, so I need to go ahead and put him in my organization. So they check Martin's name, and then they're going to select a sponsor. In this case, I'm going to select Tammy Horn, let's say, who's a leader in my organization out of Arizona. And then we go to step 3, which is at the bottom of your screen, and we confirm selection. What that means is we're going to put Martin under Tammy, and we're going to confirm that. When we confirm that, there's another place to confirm. Your following associates it says the following associates will be placed under Tammy Horn. So when you select the button, so you're going to select the button, you're going to select place now, and Martin Beamer is going to go under Tammy Horn. I apologize for the interruption. I had my son just walked in the room, and I was waving him out, saying, no, go, go, go. And he brought 2 dogs in with him. So, good grief. So let's get the dogs out of here. Sorry about that. All right, the blessings of working at home. All right, we are good to go. So let's lock and load. So place now. That person is going to go, Martin Beamer is going to go underneath Tammy Horn, and you're done. You want to make sure that you save this reference number just in case there's any issues with that. I just take a screenshot. You can save those, make sure that everything processes as it should. All right, now, instead of doing that, instead of recruiting one person and then just placing that one person in your organization, now let's talk about how to turn that one recruit into 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 10 or more recruits. And here's how you do that. Let's go back to that screen. Now you have 47. Most people look at this and go, okay, I have 47 hours and 37 minutes to place Martin Beamer in my organization. Wrong. You don't have 47 hours and 37 minutes to place Martin Beamer in your organization. You have 47 hours to recruit as many people as you can. And you're going to leverage Martin Beamer. You're going to offer Martin Beamer to all the people in your pipeline as an incentive to get started right now. So let's dive in and see how this works. This is why doing your daily exposures is so critical. You might work all month, just to get one recruit. Literally, you may work 26, 27 days in the month just to get your first recruit. But once you get that first recruit, now it's game time. Now it's so much easier to get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 recruits, in just a matter of a day or 2 or 3. A couple of months ago, I was running a leg. I think I took the leg 6 deep in a couple of days, recruited 6 people in a couple of days, and then placed that in a strategic place in my organization. Now, it's really simple to do that, but only if you've been doing your daily exposures and you've been building a constant pipeline. Now, this is the script for shopping for apps. When you get a recruit, now you're going to call every person that's in your pipeline, every person that told you, hey, let me talk to my spouse, sounds great. Let me pray about it. Hey, I get paid on Friday. Let me look at the website. Whatever. These are people that have not told you no. They've not told you yes either, but they're in your pipeline. They're thinking about it, praying about it, talking to a spouse, waiting for a check, etc. So here's how this sounds. And it's not these exact words that you need. You need these concepts. So here's what it sounds like. Hey, Joe, it's Chris Hughes with Legal Shield. How you doing? Good. Hey, man. Hey, listen, I know you were thinking about whether or not Legal Shield was right for you. You were excited about it, but really trying to see if the timing was good. But look, man, I've got great news for you, and I wanted to let you know about it. I just recruited a guy named Martin Beamer, and he's an absolute stud out of Chicago, Illinois. Super excited about the business. He's a real estate professional, and he's ready to go big in Legal Shield. But anyway, our company, Legal Shield, gives us about 48 hours to decide where we want to put our new recruits. And I thought, since I talked to you first, I'd give you the opportunity to come in first, and then I could put Martin underneath you, which would position you for income. Anytime Martin earns income, you could be positioned to earn income as well. And right now I've only got about 21 hours left to figure out where to put them. And I could put them underneath you, or I could, and you could earn the income, or I could put them under myself or someone else and we could earn the income. It really doesn't matter to me. But again, since I talked to you first, I thought I'd see if you wanted to get started now. I could put Martin under you. If you're not ready to get going, no worries. I can just put him underneath somebody else, but I thought I'd give you a call. And just pause. Okay, just pause. And let them feel the burn. Let them feel. This script is so powerful because it's utilizing two psychological levers, two psychological triggers. I guess levers is the right word for leverage. But people are more motivated by by fear of loss than they are by the potential of gain. What we're utilizing with this script is we're utilizing both of those psychological levers. We're using both fear of loss and the potential of gain. We're offering them an opportunity to get started now and earn income if they position themselves right, if they do this right, earn income from the efforts of other people. So there's this possibility of gain. But there's also a fear of loss because we're offering this person to them, or we could put them under someone else. Doesn't matter to me. Just thought I'd give you first right of refusal, right? Well, I thought I'd give you first crack at this. So there's a lot of psychological warfare going on with this person, which is by design. Sometimes people need a little help to make a decision, and sometimes offering them an associate or two or three is just the right amount of assistance to help them get into the business. So now here's what happened. So let's say we called Steve Hogg. We offered Steve Hogg. We offered Martin Beamer to Steve Hogg. So Steve Hogg says, "Hey man, I'm in. Sign me up." So we just signed up Steve Hogg, and then we've got 13 minutes left on Martin Beamer. Well, what do? Well, what you want to do is you want to select Steve from the sponsor list, and you want to put Martin under Steve. And what this does is this gives you another 48 hours to go out and find another recruit. But instead of just offering one recruit to your prospects, now you can offer 2 new recruits to your prospects. So here's what it looks like. Martin disappears. When you place Martin under Steve, Martin is going to disappear. All you can see now is Steve Hogg. Well, Steve's all you can see, but Martin's there. You just can't see him. So now we have 47 more hours to offer both Steve and Martin to all of our interested prospects. So in that effort, we recruited Sally Swimmer. We called Sally. Hey, Sally, how's it going? I've got great news. I've got these 2 associates. Oh, let's go back. I recruited Steve Hogg, Martin Beamer. They're super excited about the business. Our company gives us 48 hours to decide where we want to put these people. I thought since I spoke to you first, I'd give you first right of refusal. I'd give you an opportunity to come on first, and then I can put these 2 people underneath you. And what that means is, and by the way, now might be a good time to discuss the agent-broker script. But my brother Dave, Dr. David Hughes, he is expert at this, and he uses what's called the agent-broker script. And so this may help you in describing how this is going to work to your prospects. So we say to Sally, Sally, our compensation plan works a lot. It's just like the real estate profession. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with real estate? You've got brokers, and then you've got agents that work under the brokers. Well, every time an agent sells a house, the agent gets a commission, but the broker also gets a commission. Does that make sense, Sally? Yeah, that makes sense. Well, so you have the same opportunity. What I'm offering you here today, Sally, is an opportunity to come on board. We can put Steve and Martin underneath you, and we can work with you over the next 2-3 days to be positioned basically as a broker to where you're earning override commissions when Steve and Martin earn commissions. Now, does that make sense, Sally? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, great. And again, Sally, it doesn't matter to me. We can put them underneath you, or I can put, and you make the money, or we can put them underneath me or someone else. Doesn't matter to me. But again, I thought I'd give you first right of refusal, give you kind of first crack at this. Sally says, no, listen, I love the business. I'm totally in. I was waiting on a check. I've got my check. I'm ready to go. Okay, great. So now we've got Sally. Well, now what do? We're going to go, and step 2, we're going to select a sponsor from our list. We're going to select Sally from the sponsor list, and we're going to put Steve under Sally. This now refreshes our clock. We've got, according to this slide here, 47 hours and 28 minutes to go out and offer our new recruits, our prospects, 3 new recruits. So here's what it looks like. You now took Steve, and Martin was tied to Steve in the placement utility, and you're going to move Steve under Sally. Well, when you put Steve under Sally, Martin was connected to Steve. Now Steve is connected to Sally, and you've got 47 more hours to go out and offer these 3 associates to all of your prospects. Well, along the way, you recruited Lucius Brown. Lucius Brown says, I'm in. So now you go down to step 2. There, select the sponsor. You're going to select Lucius from the sponsor list. You're going to put Sally under Lucius. This gives you another 48 hours. So this is what it looks like. You moved Sally under Lucius, so that whole team moved over. Sally, Steve, and Martin are invisible. You can't see them, but they're there, and they're now under Lucius. So you offered those 4 new associates to your prospect, Tanisha. Tanisha says, I'm totally in. She comes on board. You're going to select Tanisha from the sponsor list. You're going to put Lucius under Tanisha. This gives you another 48 hours. This is what your organization looks like. Tanisha, then Lucius, then Sally, then Steve, then Martin. I mean, y'all, how exciting is this? I mean, this is the secret sauce. This is the stuff that allowed Brian Carruthers to average 10 recruits a month, every month, for 10 years. This is the difference between recruiting 1 a month and recruiting 5 a month. For some of you, it'll be the difference between recruiting 1 a month and recruiting 10 a month. This is the secret sauce. So you're going to keep doing this until you run out of time. So look here, under step 1, Tanisha Phillips, she's got 1 minute left. Don't ever let it get down to 1 minute. That's going to stress you out. But now that you've got 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever's left on Tanisha, now you want to decide where you're going to put Tanisha. For most of you, you're going to put Tanisha underneath someone else in your organization. That's what you're going to do. Now, in this example, I've just used, me as an example or you as an example, but you've got a minute left, so you've got to decide where you're going to put these people. You might put them underneath someone else, you might put them underneath you, but here's what it looks like. You're going to place Tanisha underneath you or underneath somebody else in your organization, and that entire tree is going to move. That entire tree is going to be placed. Again, the secret sauce. Now, it's game on. Now it's game time. Up to this point, it's been a race to get as many recruits as you could, as fast as you could. But now it's all about getting your new recruits fast, start qualified as fast as you can. How do you do that? You're going to use those two levers, again, sense of urgency and fear of loss. These are your best friends. They're your secret weapon. You use these two levers to get a lot of people into the business in a very short period of time. Now you're going to use these same two levers to get all of those people, or as many of those people as you can, fast, start qualified and paid and promoted. So here's what your organization looks like. Now what you're going to do is you're going to call each and every one of your new recruits, and either as a part of the game plan interview or a separate conversation, you're going to make sure that your new recruits, that they know the importance of getting fast, start qualified before the people under them get fast, start qualified, so they can earn overrides. So in other words, you want to start with Tanisha and say, hey, Tanisha, we've got to get you fast, start qualified before the rest of the team does, so that you're earning override income. I mean, Tanisha, if we do this right, you can earn overrides from Lucius, Sally, Steve, and Martin. But you've got to get fast, start qualified first. See, now, Tanisha, sense of urgency, fear of loss. Then you're going to call Lucius and say, Lucius, man, we got to get you fast, start qualified before Sally, Steve, and Martin. If we do this right, Lucius, if we get you promoted first, like in the next, like now, like today or like tomorrow, you could be earning override income on Sally, Steve, and Martin. So you're using fear of loss, sense of urgency. Tanisha, let's do your PBR tonight. Lucius, let's do a PCC right now. I mean, let's do everything we can do to get you faster qualified. Let's get your 3-1. I mean, if we do a PBR and a PCC today, we're going to get you 3-1. And with your 3-1, you're going to get paid. You're going to get promoted. You're going to be profitable. And you're going to be positioned for overrides. So you're going to work that all the way down. Now, as a side note, this is very, very important. Martin was the first person that you recruited, but he ended up being at the bottom of the pile here. He doesn't know anything about Tanisha, Lucius, Sally, and Steve. He doesn't know about them. And there's really no need to tell him. Now, this would seem like common sense, but I have been in the business long enough to know that in some instances, common sense is not very common. So you don't want to call Martin and go, Martin, man, thanks a lot, buddy. I used you as bait. I leveraged the heck out of you, man. I recruited you first, and after I recruited you, I offered you to Tanisha, Lucius, Sally, Steve, and they all came on board, and so I put you under them. So just wanted to let you know. No, you never have that discussion. Now, some people would say, does Martin get a raw deal? The answer is, well, no. The real answer is no, he doesn't. Because none of these people have been given $1. None of them have been given a penny. None of them have anything unless they go out and build it. Tanisha, who has all of these people on her team, she's not going to get anything from this team or anybody else unless she goes out and builds it. And Martin, same thing for him. Martin's not going to get anything unless he goes out and builds it. Now, nobody was putting teams underneath me when I was new. My brother Jeff recruited me, and I went out and built the business. I built the business. Nobody was putting teams underneath me. So, no, Martin is at no less advantage than what I had when I came into the business back in 1999. I got recruited just like Martin got recruited, and I had to go out and build my team just like Martin's going to have to go out and build his team. But the same applies to Tanisha. Yeah, Tanisha's got some people underneath her, but that's absolutely meaningless unless she goes out and builds a team. So all of these people are going to have to go out and build a team if they want, not just a team, 3 teams. If they want to maximize the comp plan and go to executive director and beyond. So let's move forward. Now, this may not all shake out like this, but let's just say you're a manager, you earn $192. When you enroll a new member, that's $960 for recruiting these 5 people. Now, these numbers may change when we get to, again, convention as we're seeing compensation enhancements. But let's say Tanisha went out and she hit it hard. And so you got 5 overrides from Tanisha at your level, $117. That's $585 in overrides. You got 3 overrides from Lucius times $117, $351. 2 overrides from Sally times $117, $234. And let's say Steve and Martin didn't fast start qualify. Your total income for recruiting those 5 people and qualifying 3 of them is $2,130. That's just from them. This doesn't include everything else that's going on in your organization. This is why it's so absolutely critical that you get to, you've got to figure this out. You've got to be recruiting 5 people a month, minimally. You just got to do that. And as you do that, it creates massive income for you. I mean, this is part-time, spare time income. And then you go out with sense of urgency and fear of loss, and you get those people faster qualified as quickly as you can. And you're generating thousands of dollars for yourself. Now, here's a few things to remember. Sense of urgency and fear of loss are your best friends. You want to create friendly competition within the organization. Trying to get the people, higher up in the organization to fast start qualify first so that they're generating override income. You want to get your new associates trained ASAP, and you want to get them to a live event as soon as possible. A lot of these people may not have ever been to a live event. So you want to make sure that you're getting them to a live event ASAP. Now, over the years, we've had questions about this, and I'm going to run through some of those questions and some things to remember as you're learning to master this concept of shopping for apps or burning the house from the bottom up. Make sure that you place your leg by deadline, by month-end deadlines. If you don't, you're not going to get Performance Club points, so just make sure that you do that. And you're not going to get, if you're in a recruiting contest, if you want to be recognized by, the company for being a top recruiter for the week or for the month, you just got to make sure that you're getting those recruits in by deadline. People have asked, could I do this with a combination of paper applications and online? No, it's either or. You can paper applications allow you to say who you want who to go under, so you can do it on paper applications, or you can do it online just like we've illustrated, but you can't do a combination of the two, so it's either or. By the way, you're not giving away these new associates, you're placing them. So, I don't believe in giving something for nothing, so make sure that it's not really, you're not giving them something, you're trading. You're trading. Hey, if I give you this organization, will you call them and make sure every week that they're on the conference call? Will you help me get them fast start qualified? Will you help me with the PBRs and the PCCs? Okay. Now remember, if you don't place the whole team, using the example of Tanisha, if you don't place Tanisha by the deadline, by within the 48 hours, then Tanisha is going to go front line to you. And all of those people will be under her, but Tanisha is going to go front line. So just make sure you do it within the 48 hours so that you can put Tanisha in that organization where you want them to go. When do you use 3-way calls? All the way through the process. Any time during the process. The more you use 3-way calls, the better. Placed associates in the placing utility are invisible. We talked about that. So make sure that you're jotting down, you're keeping records of who went under who and who you're promising to who. Because, for example, let's say you offer Steve Hogg to Joe Blow, and Joe Blow wants to think about it for the next 20 hours. Well, you may have made a lot of other offers during that time. So you need to make sure you write down, hey, I offered these people to this person. I offered this person to this person. It could get confusing. It may not sound like it, but you could become overwhelmed, and I've certainly been there. I was like, oh, gosh, who did I promise who, and who was supposed to go first? And you just want to keep track of all that. Keep a journal, keep a record when you're working on this. No performance club points or recognition will be triggered until the whole leg is placed. So just keep that in mind. Don't let the website time out on you. We've had issues like this in the past with our new CEO, Jeff Bell, on the scene. We're not seeing these issues. But follow up on all your business. Make sure that everything processes, and make sure that you got all of your performance club points. All of the place associates can help you. All of their sales will count towards your rank advancements to senior associate and above. Does the person at the bottom get the raw end of the deal? We've already talked about that. Help the people at the top to take ownership of the newly placed team. We've talked about that. Doing this way increases retention on both associates and members, and it drives your residual income, your retirement income up. How does it do that? Well, if I just recruit you first level and you never recruit anybody and I never put anybody underneath you, you could quit at any time. Look, I got nothing to lose here. But if you've got a team growing, if I put 2, 3, 4, 5 people underneath you and they're recruiting, 5, 10 recruits a month, even if you're not earning income because you haven't gone out and built your other teams, even if you're not earning income, I'm going to let you know about all of that growth in your organization as a retention strategy. Because I say, hey, look, let's build you a couple of other legs because your team is exploding right now. And I'll tell them, even if timing is not right for you to build a business, look, just keep your membership. Because if you keep your membership, you'll always have your business. And if times change, maybe at some point, there's a change in your job, or God forbid you're laid off, you'll have a business. You'll have a team already in place. You just got to go out and build a couple of other legs, and you'll have a turnkey income to help you get from point A to point B. Right? So this increases retention, keeps our members active, keeps our associates active. And then finally, placing has to be beneficial for all parties involved. So I know there's probably a lot of you that are listening to this and saying, hey, nobody's placing anybody underneath me. Nobody's building my team. And that is the fact of the matter. And in fact, probably about 98% of you or more don't have anyone above you that is putting people underneath you. And that's just the way it is. This isn't about a free lunch. This training was not about to incite you to anger because there's nobody above you giving you people. That's called welcome to the club. That's called get in line with the rest of us. There's nobody placing anybody underneath me, and there never has been. That's just the way it is. But for those of us as recruiters, those of us who are building big businesses, who are building big teams, we are placing underneath other people. But we're not placing underneath everybody. I've got a lot of people on my first level. I've been doing this for many, many years. Well, right now I'm only placing in 1 or 2 organizations. And within those organizations, I'm only placing underneath 1 person, right? So there's hundreds of other people, or thousands, tens of thousands of people in my organization who are not receiving that benefit. It is what it is. It's got to be beneficial for all. So I'm placing underneath people strategically. because it's good for them. It's good for the person I'm placing these people under, but it's also good for me. Let me give you an example. In my organization, I have legs that have multiple executive directors in the leg. Well, it doesn't make sense for me to be placing in any of those legs. Why not? Because those legs, there's a bunch of EDs down there. So where am I placing? I'm placing in legs where there are no EDs. Why? So that I can help one of those people get to executive director, which helps me get to the next level. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for everybody. So this is not about your upline putting people on your team. What this training is about you strategically placing people in your organization in places that both benefits the person you're placing them under and it benefits you. Very strategic. But keep in mind, 98% of the people on our team and on every team, probably even more, will not have someone put someone underneath you. Don't be upset about that. Your job is to go strategically do what you've got to do to maximize the comp plan for you. That's what I'm doing for me. That's what all the other leaders in the company are doing for them. They're maximizing the comp plan for them. Your goal is to maximize the comp plan for you. So don't expect anybody to build your team. At the end of the day, it's up to you. All right. Getting prospects into action. We've talked about all of these things. First things first, you got to fast start qualify. Got to have a full pipeline and make sure that you're using sense of urgency and fear of loss. Now, because there was no Q&A, we're not doing a Q&A today because this was recorded. I attempted to do this live. Well, we didn't attempt to do it live. We attempted to record it earlier. The recording didn't work. I had to record it again. I'm praying to God that this recorded this time. We've had so many tech issues with this new webinar system. But since we're not doing Q&A, if you'll email your questions to cs@cshughes.com, I'll answer all those questions in an MP3, and I'll send it to all of you who are registered for these webinars via your email address. So let's say, let's get all the questions into me by July 5th. How about that? July 5th. You get all your questions into me, email them to me. I'll record one MP3. I'll email it out to everyone, and I'll answer everybody's questions. Okay? I think that's it for today, and it is. So we are going to turn off the recording.